Welcome to this explainer of the source document for episode 3 of The Rooted Path. We're taking some deliberate time today to honor the history of this field and the sacred work you are already doing in your congregations. This isn't about discarding the past. It's really about recognizing the profound foundation that has already been laid by faithful leaders just like you. Let's start by grounding ourselves in the sensory reality of a church basement or a fellowship hall on a Saturday morning. You probably know this room well. It's where members gather, large sheets of paper taped up to the cinder block walls, writing down the skills and talents they've held for years. These are gifts they've carried quietly, simply because no one had ever asked them to share before. Notice the profound shock of communal recognition that happens here. Someone says, "I didn't know you played the drums," or "I didn't know you were a nurse. You've been a contractor for 20 years and we never even asked." It is this beautiful, startling moment when the body finally sees itself for the very first time. People discover they actually belong to a body they've been sitting next to for years. We need to clearly name what was happening in that room theologically. This is formation. Formation is the theological act of recognizing what God has already placed within the body. The Spirit is actively moving through that act of declaration. The gathering of the people, the space itself, the room mattered fundamentally to this process. Section 1, Honoring the Wall, what the sticky notes accomplished. We must purposefully reaffirm that the butcher paper and sticky notes were exactly the right tools for their moment. Look at the 4 historical triumphs they accomplished. First, communal recognition. People were writing in front of the body rather than just submitting a private form. Second, leadership stepping back. The pastor wasn't the source, the body was. Third, visible declaration. Once a gift was placed on that wall, it could not be unsaid. And finally, the Spirit's movement in the room. This is true formation, and the wall held it beautifully. Section 2, the ephemeral wall. What the wall could not hold. Now, the crucial point is understanding 3 historical realities the field has had to live with. First, the data did not compound. Year 3 simply could not see what Year 1 had declared. Second, leadership transitions reset everything. A new pastor meant returning to the starting line, essentially erasing the memory of the body. And third, neighboring congregations reinvented the wheel. A church 2 miles away started from zero on a Saturday morning that their neighbors had already lived through. The wall held the moment. It could not hold the work. Every time that butcher paper came down on a Sunday afternoon, the memory of the body began to disappear. Section 3, the new vessel. Step 8 of the Rooted Path. With this new vessel, the beautiful truth is that the Spirit still moves in the room. Let's cleanly distinguish how this operates. On one side, we have the digital companion. This is step 8 of the Rooted Path framework. On the other side, we have ClearPath intelligence technology. This is the technology that powers step 8. They work together, but they are not the same thing. Let's walk through the 5 giftscape categories in their canonical order: skills, relationships, physical assets, aspirations, spiritual gifts. The core work remains exactly the same as it was on the wall. We are just giving it a permanent place to live. Notice that final category: spiritual gifts. This is the threshold where standard methodology ends, and deep formation theology begins. This is where the framework transcends a simple inventory and ensures a profound, lasting act of formation. Preserving the body's intelligence. Here is the true pastoral relief. The digital companion carries the intelligence through every single leadership transition. New members entering in Year 3 can instantly see what was historically declared in Year 1. Pastors inherit an existing, documented body. No congregation ever has to start from zero again. Section 4, Roots to Canopy. Scaling what is formed. The 3-tier tree beautifully illustrates a thriving body. The roots are deeply formed and securely held by the vessel. The trunk is supported by the framework, and the canopy is finally free to grow and scale. Because the deep formation work of the roots is finally held securely, the canopy can safely grow without losing its foundation. What is formed is what gets scaled. This reminds us that the work can now matter across time and across transitions because the foundation is properly protected. The body's intelligence is finally safe. The room has always mattered. The Spirit continues to move through your faithful declarations. We've always done the right work. Now we have a way to hold it securely. This is your invitation to continue the path